Hello, can you hear me out there? Welcome everyone to the show. Um, just want to go live for a little bit. I know there are a lot of people live right now. AC's live, Jeff is live. I know there are other panels out there. I'm going to give it a few minutes for people to come in. I just want to do like a weekend wrap up. It's been a quite it's been an adventure this weekend. So come on in, say your hellos. We'll get going here in a minute. I'll drop the link in case anyone wants to come out or come up. Um, yeah, fun things to talk about today. Welcome everyone. I'll be back in a few. Okay, let's get started. Put the link out there. If anyone wants to come up, I don't think I'll be streaming long. I know there's a lot of people live right now. I just wanted to come together on this fine Sunday evening. Hey, Spike, welcome. Um, because YouTube world has been so strange today. Shout out to my chat, Flaky Jake, Strawberry Tart. You're totally the illegitimate child of Josh BSBT and Julia, and you know it. Hey, Rudy, welcome. Hey, transgender Jesus saves. As always, thank you for saving us. Spike, thanks for coming in. So I think a lot of you have probably seen the little madness today. I don't know. I did go outside to see if there was a full moon, obviously knowing well that there wasn't a full moon tonight, but trying to understand where this madness is coming from. Um, I don't know. It's been it's been a lot today. All right, give me one second. Hey, Rudy,
Hello,
welcome. How are you?
welcome. I'm doing pretty good. I saw that Irish Demons live stream, and I saw you there, in the chat too.
Yeah, I popped in there for a minute. I like to
Yeah,
go to new things here and there. I really don't follow Irish Demon,
yeah,
don't know a lot other than
yeah,
obviously I've known about this whole Miss Mandy shit.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I just had to pop in there. It's good to just
yeah,
feel other
yeah.
panels and
I
channels.
know Miss
Yeah,
Mandy because I used to be one of her moderators, and there are
yeah.
a lot of people that just turned on her because of. And at first I was like in a rock, and it was like really hard but I to fathom everything, and I listened. I had to listen to both sides a little bit, and I even talked to her on Discord before. And then it seemed like she was going to stay off of YouTube, and then she came back. I mean, she was supposed to
Mhm.
be like from the states, same side as like Prodigal Troll and all that. But the fact that she did what she did, it's just not excusable for triggered
Yeah,
liming. Yeah, I
yeah.
know. I learned it more from Shiz, and then Shiz went to Irish Demon. Then then when Irish Demon, I've known him even way before Miss Mandy. I knew him, like I knew of Schrodinger's cat, Team Skeptic, Irish Demon. And I knew of them way before Miss Mandy. Miss Mandy used to, I guess she used to work with. I'm trying to think of his name. She was a producer for him, and then
She
he let
produced
her
for
go.
Artie.
Artie, that's who it was, Artie.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's crazy how things happen in our own community. I remember, Josh of Fraud or Troll. He said even Fraud at Wrangler, we gotta let people know that it's not acceptable. They expose the BS. Team Skeptic ended up being a part of that too, getting rid of Fraud at Wrangler, out of the community because but yeah, and I never got to talk to like Schrodinger's cat or anything. I was still in the stage of not, going on panels. I was just on the chat, But
Um, hey, Rudy, transgender Jesus says they knew you from Schrodinger's cat days.
yeah, I
So
might have
they go,
commented
but
because of the.
yeah.
I commented on videos. I was glad he covered Casey Cameraboy, who's in Kern County, which is kind of close to Kings County where I'm at. Well, not too close.
Hmm.
But they're like right by each other. He's probably the clown's probably in the same district as me, unfortunately. But I liked it when he got arrested in Kern County. I forgot what city it was, but he got arrested. He was all singing around like a little, well, let's just say very femininity, little feminine man. But and then he got arrested. He was harassing a woman, called her fat, and it was really, really nasty. But then he got arrested, and his vehicle got towed, and that's what he gets for being, and they harass people for clicks and views,
Yeah.
But and I liked it when uh, Schrodinger's cat did that and everything, and yeah, it was sad he passed away like in his
Hmm.
40s. Like
Yeah.
where I'm at, I'm 44 years old, and I think he was like 46 or so. He was not old at all, But
Um, so you mentioned something about Miss Mandy. I don't want to talk too much about Miss Mandy because I know other channels are covering her right now.
yeah,
But so if people haven't seen, Miss Mandy has been trying to slither her way around Josh BSBT
Mm.
and Paul Daddy.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, like she is seriously trying to kiss ass with them.
Yeah,
And Josh has been kind of a gnat today. I
yeah,
really don't want to talk a lot about him, but
yeah,
it's really,
yeah. I
telling
kind
when
of,
he shows up and
yeah,
talks certain
yeah,
ways. I try, just so everyone knows, I try not to engage him.
yeah,
But I need to get to a point where, he
yeah,
just needs to stop talking to me. Like I won't even
yeah,
acknowledge him and he goes
yeah,
off.
yeah. Well, he gets a little scared of me sometimes, but someone called him out, said, "Look," because he talked to Mike Cerrone and everything, and it was kind of funny. And
He
it's
thinks he's
like,
hot shit because he talked to
and
Mike Throne and everyone's like, "Oh, BSBT kicked Mike Throne's ass." I'm like,
everybody
"No,
beats Mike
so
Cerrone.
well, but I'm also like, don't give any of these two fools credit for anything.
No.
They're douchebags.
Oh, I did a Dumb and Dumber meme of both of those idiots.
Yeah, yeah. So,
But yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that,
BSBT, Josh, if you're listening, stop fucking saying my name and talking about me.
he's
Rumor is you ran to Paul Daddy's and you were crying about me
um,
and you were crying to people because you got blocked by someone else. I had nothing
yeah,
to do with it because people don't put up with your shit, Josh. So
yeah,
cut it out, give it a break, go get your free cop ride to the sheriff's for your warrant
mm,
and enjoy Macomb County Jail. So that's the reason he doesn't want to go to jail. Macomb County Jail is not a good jail.
mm,
That jail system is shared with Detroit, if that tells you
mm.
anything.
Oh, yeah,
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 so he would go to jail with
yeah,
rapists and I'm sorry, I
yeah,
shouldn't have said that, but with, people who have
yeah,
done some really bad stuff, and then they're
mm,
gonna be like, "Oh, you're in here for telling cop to F off."
yeah.
Good
Well,
morning, guys.
hey, Spike.
Welcome, everyone,
Hey,
not a robot. Yeah.
I'm not a robot. I am Spike.
I,
I just want to say real quick because I haven't
yeah.
paid attention much today,
Yeah.
but I did peek into that chat and I can 100% confirm, as I have a wrench, that you are not the person that blocked that person you're
No.
speaking about.
No, I didn't do anything to that person.
I know who did, but I'm not a snitch.
No, I do
Um,
too. I
no,
do
I know
too,
you know.
but
Yeah.
but they took it up on themselves and they also discussed it with the moderator. I was there as part of the live that they would surrender their wrench because they did that. And they knew they're like, I wanted to do that, so I will give you my wrench. No
Yeah,
problem.
no, I just know you didn't do it. I really only peeked in for probably 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff. Sorry, Jeff, that you're watching.
Yeah.
Rudy, though, I also wanted to say real quick, you don't get you don't get enough of credit sometimes, but I was rewatching Liliana's stream today with a friend of mine who's not on YouTube,
Yeah,
and you kudos to you. My friend was like, "Hey, that's a good guy," not because you were wearing the Raiders helmet, but
Yeah, no, I think
'cause-
Rudy's a good guy.
yeah, when you get into good positions like Liliana's stream, definitely you get to shine a little bit differently. I know that sometimes people
yeah.
poke you, but I just wanted to give you props, bro. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
Well, I did debate the Big Balboski on Broader Trolls channel. That was pretty crazy, but interesting and interesting experience. And I had to do it for 5 minutes. That was
Was
not
that
easy.
today?
Yeah, he was a former wrestler, and he was a First Amendment auditor, but he kind of didn't know United States laws at all. He didn't know the three bodies. And, he's Canadian American.
Was that
You
today?
know, no, that was like over 2 years ago or so.
Oh no, yeah, you've been up and down and all around, but
Wait. Before you guys Mike Cerrone hijack the topic here. Before I forget. because the brain cells are fleeting and my memory is not great. So welcome, Dominic. They're new here, so thanks for coming. They were in Jeff's chat. And they were actually there to witness the madness. But the one thing I just want to end saying about that whole situation was I decided to panel up. And guess what happened?
Oh, you know who showed up?
Josh ran.
Oh,
Over Jess.
Yeah.
wow.
Oh. Well, look, I'm really lost today. I just wanted to give Rudy props real quick.
Yeah, no worries. But I
Right.
just wanted to end it there. Yeah, Rudy's great. Thanks,
No,
guys.
I don't want to hijack your show, but
Yeah,
you
No,
know,
no, no. I just wanted to I just wanted to just say that because that was my kind of YouTube news for the day.
yeah.
So yeah, now let's have at it. Mike's thrown you away.
no, I have nothing on Mike today, unfortunately. I'm just a weirdo that I like to call out shit when I see it. So Rudy, I wanted to give you props, and then Liana, I was there to see that you didn't do anything with your wrench.
Thank you. No, I'm not saying talk shit about Mike. Act like Mike's throwing and talk about shit. Spike, you're not following me, are you?
No, I'm not. I have no caffeine today. I'm totally low on fumes, but I just
Oh
want to hop up
no.
real quick.
Okay.
I'm
Okay. See ya.
listen. All right, guys.
Okay. Bye. Peace. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was have you visited Jeff's channel?
I did visit it from Spikes, where I was on both Spikes and Jeff's at the same time. I
Yeah.
visited, but I made a few little comments. That was it. I'm not subscribed. I think, I don't know if I subscribed to his channel. I know some people don't like Jeff, but I kind of like. I heard AC tell me that he's autistic, and I have a niece
Mm-hmm.
autistic, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I can't bash on the guy. I mean, might joke a little bit, say he needs to trade those deer antlers for moose antlers, just joking around.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I said that, like I'd say it's an upgrade, it would be pretty. I think he'd probably find it funny.
Yeah. Okay, so Flaky Jake, you just reminded me, hold on, Illuminati. That is what I'm gonna call him. So yeah, I do have to give a little blurb about Illuminati. Um, decided to call me, I guess, I think he really thought he was trying to offend me by saying that no one would marry me. Um, and I let him keep rambling. He just, I think, likes to talk and hear himself. But then he turned it that, oh, it's because I have issues with something. But Flaky Jake, this is what I was letting him do. I was letting him talk and talk and talk because it turned out it was about him because he was crying about his issues on the train and trying to tell me that I had issues because I asked him why he wanted to know about my personal life. Yeah, I don't get that guy. And then he told me I was widowed. So I said, okay. Yeah, that dude, Flaky Jake, I'm glad you saw that. Yeah, so it was an interesting day at Jeff's. Let me link his panel in case anyone wants to go check it out. Anything good you see around the tubes today?
Well, besides Irish Demon now, AC's restreaming his live they had with Miss Mandy, because I saw earlier, like with you, with the Irish Demon. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only thing so far. But yeah, I usually do is just cover like debunker stuff. Like I'll watch Frauder Trolls channels. He has many of them, but his main channel is the one I watch. And there's other people I don't get to see all of them. I like Team Skeptic. He doesn't do lives as much as he did before. Plus, I think he's just barely coming back to America. I think he's in. I don't know if he's in Spain or Portugal. He was there like a year ago or 2 years ago. So kind of crazy. He's going out of country a few times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, no, like I said, I just happened upon Irish Demons. Yeah, and of course, BSBT was in there too. That was a fun time, wasn't it, Rudy? I
Yeah.
swear, he's just like a little gnat. You keep swatting him.
Yeah. Yeah. He is. I mean, trying to debate that idiot's like talking to a wall. He's like too dumb to debate. When I debate people, I debate actually people with some sort of intellect. He lacks the intellect. He's too dumb. And one thing about like some of these extremist First Amendment auditors and even the sovereign citizens, they don't know what the 10th Amendment is. They like the sovereign citizens, even Moorish nationals. When the only thing cops should say, 10th Amendment. That's what they say. Oh, because they don't recognize federal, state law, because they look at the Constitution as the only
Yes.
law. Well, there's something in the Constitution. It's called the 10th Amendment, which gives the
Mm-hmm.
states and the people to make laws, and statutes are laws, and they forget that policies are backed up by laws. And if you break the policy, doesn't always mean you'll go to jail, but you could go to jail. Doesn't mean you will, but you could.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And that's actually what I said on Jeff's panel, because I think everyone thought I went up there just to lay into BSBT.
yeah,
Josh hopped down, and then Jeff was like, "Oh, did you have something you want to talk about?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to talk about soft shit." And then
yeah,
I went off on that whole spiel,
yeah,
that
yeah.
they don't recognize the 10th Amendment. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. They don't want to. They kind of, some of them know what the 10th Amendment is. I think that some of them use it as a con trick, to con people, and then some are just brainwashed. Like Val Venus, you look at him, he doesn't really have much to really gain because he's a pretty wealthy guy. He doesn't have to do this. These other people, they do it because that's all they can do. They don't have nothing. I mean, I would say to like,
So,
yeah,
so you actually bring up an interesting point or question that I do want to ask. Val Venus has influence.
yep,
He has an audience,
yep,
and it's that WWE audience. And I'm not
yeah,
trying to say anything, but could they be easily, would they easily believe what he tries to preach so concretely, if you get what I'm saying?
yeah. He
And so is
can.
that what he capitalizes on? Is, again, yes, I know people do shit and try
Yeah,
to get people to believe it, but he has a bigger reach. You get what I'm saying, Rudy?
yeah. He does because he's kind of well known. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with him, with his is anarchism. But the funny thing is, despite his influence, though, when people call out, and it was actually other First Amendment auditors called him out. Rogue Nation said what an idiot he is, and he doesn't know anything. I mean, I was before I even said anything. So Project was having
One,
people like debate him, and I was one of the people, and I didn't even talk nasty to him. I actually was very respectful, and I just was telling him the three bodies of law, and he didn't know any of them. He didn't know what the executive branch, the legislative branch, or even the judiciary branch. He didn't
well,
know any of that.
I think Juan Galt has gone toe to toe with him.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I would say to Val Venus, get out of this stuff. This political stuff, this media stuff, it's not right for you. Do something that's productive. Do what you do best. Be like
Mm-hmm.
a wrestling manager or something, or a commentator. Get into that. That's what you do better at. You could do that. You just got to evolve. That's what people do. Like, although Jesse the Body Ventura, when he couldn't wrestle anymore, he became a commentator. Then he decided to run for governor in Minnesota. I mean. But
Yeah.
he did that. He was very influential. But I don't think Val Venus is quite like where Ventura was at, but with Val Venus, though, he was the villain character. His character was he was a porn star wrestler. You
Yeah.
know, and he's like kind of like the Rick Rude type guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a funny character. I mean, it was funny during the Attitude Era, but it's been played out, and he's not The Rock. He's not going to be like getting people by the millions, but he is still what influential though.
Yeah.
But the fact that I saw this guy and everything, he just and I didn't disrespect him because I think what he is, he's a little bit mixed up. I don't think he's a bad dude. I just think that he's a little. I wouldn't say he's brainwashed. I just think he's a bit ignorant though, because like I said, he's Canadian American, and he said he didn't like Canada, so he came to America. I'm
Like
like, dude,
America's any better. Yeah.
well, actually, their laws are more strict in Canada, but when a Canadian comes to America, though, the laws are least strict, but
Yeah,
but
I wonder what the tax system's like in Canada.
yeah,
Because if you think of, for healthcare and all those what people would consider social needs, what that tax is it more in Canada or is it more in the US? Because why would he come here? He's
yeah,
just going to pay more taxes, and that's what he bitches about is giving money to the government.
yeah. Well, Canada, though, when the American comes there, their immigration system's strict. They expect you to bring what you have, a lot of what you have. In the United States, it's a little different. We're like the weakest on immigration, but Canada, they're very strict on their
Th-
immigration.
They are. Do you know how many times I got pulled and questioned going back and forth? Of all the countries I've traveled to, I'm gonna knock on wood somewhere in my house right now because Canada always pulls me and essentially asks me to give them my life story.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I've never been in Canada, but I flew over Canada when I went to Alaska. But it was the fishhook flight. I would fly from Fresno Airport all the way to Denver Airport, then to Chicago Airport, and I was like going like this was like a 14-hour flight altogether, and then all the way to Anchorage, Alaska Airport. I was like,
Yeah.
it was not good. It was not a good. It's because I missed the flight because it did my itinerary did not match up with the flight. It was off by an hour, and I was there when they were just boarding people, and it was just crazy. I was mad, but they were able to get me on the next day.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm close to Canada. I'm 20 minutes from the border.
yeah,
I used to have to work in Canada. I was a consultant with HP and they put me on a project in Calgary. So I had to fly to Calgary every week for work. And Calgary, in case anyone doesn't know about it, or if you haven't been there, it's the Texas of Canada. It's all the oil companies and all the horse rodeo life. Everywhere I would turn, it would be like, oh, closed for a special BP Shell event, you know. Um, but Calgary is beautiful. I love, you know, that province over there. Um, I don't remember Vancouver. I went to Vancouver when I was young. I love Montreal, but Toronto's okay. Sorry. Uh, yeah, I don't mind Canada, but it's a whole
yeah,
lot of nothing over there.
yeah. I like Alaska. It's nice there. The only thing I wouldn't do is live there. There's pros and cons in Alaska. They don't have a sales tax. They're like Nevada, and they do have open carry. The
Oh,
only bad thing is with Alaska is everything's expensive there, even more so than California, and it's kind of shocking. you know,
Yeah.
and they do tax everything, you know, food and well, in California we don't tax food unless it's getting cooked. Like a Papa Murphy's pizza in California,
Oh,
they don't do taxes on it, but they do in Alaska though.
yeah. I've never been to Alaska.
Oh, it's not. Well, some parts of Alaska they don't tax at all though. There's some parts like
Hey, Devos.
yeah, I think it's
Devos Nation in the house.
Wasilla
Hello.
doesn't have a tax system where it was. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, Taylor.
But yeah, it's kind of strange in Alaska. There's some beautiful scenery. It's great for hunting and fishing. But I would not want to live there. I'd love to vacation there though. But my mom and brother live there. My mom lives in Palmer. And my brother lives in Eagle River.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Is that toward like the south, or because Alaska's huge, right? And I have no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. It's more
Because the
like.
south is the most populated area of Alaska.
Do you know
Everything
where
else is,
Anchorage? You know
yes,
where Anchorage, Alaska's at? Well, it's a little more
yes.
south of Anchorage. It's not like
Is it,
Juneau. Juneau's closer to Canada, very close to Canada, and it's the
is it,
capital, and it's very small.
yeah. Is there a lot of water where they are?
Yeah, a lot of lakes. There's a lot of
Yeah.
lakes, and there's parts where it goes to the ocean too, where the some of the river area just drops to the, you know, mostly Anchorage can lead to the it leads to the ocean. Palmer is very small. That's where Chile supposedly went to high school in. It's a very small town, it's really small. But it's really nice there. I mean, yeah, I saw moose there. It could be a little scary because the moose is much more. Some would say more dangerous than seeing a grizzly bear. But
You know what I don't understand? Isn't Chile like from Colombia or something?
what is?
Isn't Chile, sorry, Chile
Well,
de Castro, isn't he from Colombia?
his father was born in Colombia. He was not. He's half Colombian, half white. His mother's straight up white.
Yeah, I'm
His late.
wondering how the fuck he ended up in Alaska.
Well, you know, like I said, he was
That's
a.
what he says, right?
Yeah, he has been to. He's been arrested in like. I think it was in Washington. He's been to Washington, but mostly he's from California. I mean, his mother lives in the L.A. area, and his residence is right where his mom lives at. He doesn't have a real home. He doesn't even live there. He doesn't live anywhere. You know, he goes from place to place. You know, he's a guy without a home, is what it is. You know, and he doesn't have a vehicle, although he drives rent a car, but it's not, you know, really his. He just rents them. You know, it always looked like, you know, he was driving the same van, but then you looked at the vans, they start changing. You know, it's not, you know, but you know, but yeah, he's Colombian in ethnicity. Well, his family is. His father is. He went to Colombia, where his relatives, you know, are from Colombia. But you know, also the other thing is the guy that doesn't like Chile. That's the First Amendment auditor, Sean Reyes. He's Colombian.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, Kane. The link's out there if anyone wants to come up.
Yeah.
I just don't think I'm gonna stay on long
Yeah.
because I've gone back just to listen to the stream, and you could tell I hit a wall after 2 hours. I can't think, I can't speak, I can't articulate anything. But if anyone wants to come up, come on up now. Um, I'll give people 2 minutes if they just want to rant about something for 2 minutes. I will not take responsibility for anything you say, though. Come on up.
I was thinking maybe Tyler or Mr. B might come up.
Oh, Mr. B's not doing too good right now, but
Okay.
he's a trooper because he's hanging out with us and he's keeping us company, and we're keeping him
Yeah.
company. So stay strong. Sending you lots of love and strength, Mr. B. Um, but yes, we would love Mr. B to come up one day.
I'll tell you one thing. Maybe go to these First Amendment um, auditors was I saw something my mom was telling me. This is before she moved to Alaska, and I had my apartment. She said, you know, your sister's on TV. What? On YouTube? What? I take a look at it. It says snowflakes in at the. I was thinking, well, snowflakes. Who's the snowflake? Oh no, they're calling this First Amendment auditor known as South Valley News.
I don't know who
Small
that is.
unknown, small unknown, but he's has links with Casey Camera Boy. He's from the Kern
Uh,
County area. He goes to Visalia, goes to the post office. He doesn't go live. He just records and then posts it. And it's like really short video. It's not long or anything. And then what happens is he goes in there. They tell him you can't videotape because there's information there, but he cuts his video out. So he makes cuts, and then he's harassing people. And then there's my sister, and then her boyfriend, but now her husband. And oh my God, it was so embarrassing. This guy was playing them, and they didn't know it. They thought it was illegal for the guy to film outside, but it's not. It was just illegal for him
yeah.
to film where there's important information at.
Yeah. And I want to talk about that for a minute.
Yeah,
You want to talk about that for a minute with me, Rudy?
yeah, it's
Because they will stand outside on
yeah.
public property. I get it. It's legal. But where do you draw the line with a peeping Tom? For me,
Ooh,
that's creepy. Someone
it is.
standing in a window video cameraing. How is that not different from a peeping Tom?
It's not different. They're just about the same. However, though, there's people like when they zoom like towards someone's body part, they look and zoom their camera, and people could tell. I've seen it where someone confronted them, and they made the guy delete the video picture or whatever, told him to get the out of there. And yes, it's legal in most states. It's legal to film almost anywhere, but there are some limitations. But if it's outside in public, yes, it's very legal for them to do it. And before that, they thought it was. My sister thought it was illegal, and it wasn't. But here's the thing about these auditors, though, is one of these days people don't care about the law. They're just going to get their camera, they're going to smack it or punch him in the face or something more. I mean, I've seen it where, like, Casey Camera Boy got beat up and his buddy Silence Boy didn't help him. They said, "Aren't you going to help your friend?" And Silence Boy's like, "No." These guys are clowns. They won't protect each other. When they do use pepper spray, I'm like, dude, you pepper spray someone and someone shakes it off, you're in a lot of trouble. I mean, it's a cowardly thing for a man to carry pepper spray. I think it's really cowardly, and they wear that, vest and stuff, it's like, yeah, I mean, they just do that for clicks and views. They don't care about the First Amendment. And they're
No,
so
they
dumb.
don't.
Silence Boy doesn't even have like more than a high school education. He lives with his mama, and when he shows these hundreds and $20 bills, I'm like, yeah, that's called rent money, dude. That's not a lot. That's nothing. In LA, that's what you do to pay rent and bills. I think that money was to pay for his mama's apartment that he's living. He's mama. He was an errand boy. He definitely makes money. Though, I'm not gonna lie, but he has to harass people though. He ain't gonna do it in the main streets of LA where there's people that won't put up to it. He goes to rich areas where there's cops and all that, so that he doesn't get beat up or mugged. And there's a guy even saying it. He exposed Silence Boy, showed his face, and Silence Boy wasn't so happy. He got his little electric bike and rode off. And it's like once you confront these guys a little bit and expose them, you don't even have to threaten them, and just tell them, and then they leave. They will leave.
Hmm.
They don't like to be videotaped themselves when they videotape people, but when you show them, and Silence Boy don't want people to show what he looks like, because when you look at him, he looks like the hamburger is what he looks like. He looks like the hamburger. He looks like a creepy little dude, and the worst part is he's He's Uncle Tom to the Mexican community because
Hmm.
Telemundo exposed him. They showed where he was living at.
Oh,
Because of,
really? They did like a full
yeah,
expose on him? Oh, wow. Telemundo?
Telemundo, and
No
I
way.
saw it on YouTube, and they were
What?
and his mom was there, and then they're all just talking in Spanish, but yeah, and it was embarrassing. That woman that was right next to him, that was his mom, and he's like, I don't know how old Science Boy. He might be like when he was there, he was like 26 years old, so he might be close to 30 right now, maybe 28. But man, it was crazy. The reason why they went after him was because he had a food vendor arrested, where he said that this woman attacked him, but she didn't. It was someone else that did it, and then when he did that false arrest, the police came and arrested him, and of course the charges were dropped. They don't keep those charges off very long. So he only probably didn't even spend a full night in jail. They just, you know, he just got handcuffed and taken, but he didn't stay that long. Just like when Chili was arrested about a year ago before his trial, he didn't even stay there the whole night. He ended up being bailed out, and he was all sweating and everything from withdrawals from a certain substance. He was sweating so bad he got his dog's towel.
Yeah, but remember he was saying, "Oh, I go to the doctors. I have high blood pressure from all
Yeah,
the anxiety of the
yeah.
poop on the doorknobs and shit."
Yeah, I
The
remember
the
that.
Nutella. Hey,
And the Nutella
conspiracy
poop.
music. Welcome.
It was the dumbest fake thing he did. It was so fake. He
Yeah.
just didn't.
We're talking about auditors, frauditors, and
Yeah,
faucets right now.
yeah.
Conspiracy music. You want to talk
Chili's
about
the
any of that?
dumbest. He's the worst actor. He is a former actor. You
Yeah,
know.
a wannabe actor.
Yeah, he knows how to. He's been trained to like how to, present himself, the body language. He's good at that. Much as I don't like the D bag, but his message is still.
Public, but that's public speaking.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's good at,
He,
like I was saying, like because he's a former actor, he knows how to, present his
yeah,
body language.
he
He knows how to
sells
pose for the camera.
he sells bullshit. He knows how to
Except
do
for
it.
that one part where I didn't like seeing his man boobs, where he has camera down, he's run away or something. It's just not right. Especially when well, it was after that kid, I forgot, that big kid, and he was threatening to beat him up, and this other guy says, "Hey, you don't want to throw down." He goes, "Oh, I don't want to fight anybody. I just want to go home," and he runs away. This guy's not even big or anything; he's small, and he got scared. He goes, "Oh, I didn't want to fight that gangster guy." The guy wasn't a gangster. He just didn't like Chili acting tough on a guy who really couldn't fight. I mean, he was big and all that, but he just couldn't fight. But Chili,
Free
yeah.
Charlie, Flaky Jake Liz. You're right.
Oh
Free
yeah, definitely.
Charlie.
The dog's innocent. Yeah, I think that I didn't like what he was doing with the dog. The dog
Where was the
sniffed
dog when he was in jail in Vegas?
at. Well, when he was on trial, I'm pretty sure someone was taking his dog. But last year when he was arrested, the dog was put in animal control for a second, but he got his dog back though. You know,
Oh, that
because
poor dog.
he claimed he had his car on with the AC on, but I don't believe anything Chili says. And that's Las
Yeah.
Vegas. It's hot there. I've been to Las Vegas before. I used to drive a road trip from when I went to pick up my grandfather from Colorado. Drove all the way to Colorado in a U-Haul with my grandfather and my mom. That was not the easiest thing for me. Drove to Utah and then Nevada and all the way to California. And it took me longer because I had an elderly man and a middle-aged woman, which would be my mom, and it was not easy. If it was my way, it would have been there in less than 2 days. It took longer than that.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was my grandfather. He paid for everything, so I said, all right, you got to do that. He actually deserves that, because he's been through a lot, and he was a former He was a POW in the Korean War. But, you know,
Um, I will never drive across the United States again. I did that with Josh. That was the first
oh
and last time I would ever do that. And then to get back home to California, I took the Greyhound, and I will never do that again.
yeah,
So I'm only flying across America. I will not drive more than 8 hours
yeah.
anymore.
It's too expensive to drive now. I mean, I enjoyed it. Well, I used to drive actually even further than that. I drove from California all the way to Arkansas.
Ugh,
I got get there between 2 to 3 days. But you know, I enjoyed the scenery. I liked it in my early 20s. You know, I took my grandmother. She first drove and everything, and I was like, you know what? Let me drive, and I ended up this time doing all the driving. She was all happy that I did the driving, and I drive, and she'd be, you know, taking her naps and everything. You know, but yeah, it's fun, but I couldn't do it now in my state because I have those
no.
migraines. Those migraines
Um,
are no joke. You know, I
and
couldn't do it.
Texas is one of the worst states to drive through. Sorry, Texans, but Texas really sucks to drive through. It could take you 24 hours to drive the width of Texas.
Mm. If you're driving
It's
to the middle part, you're correct. I
yeah,
drove
it
on I
sucks.
drove through the Interstate 40, which is that, you know, which is a small part of Texas that I passed through, like going through Amarillo, and then after I pass Amarillo and all the other little city areas, I get to Oklahoma, and there's Oklahoma City. You know, Oklahoma City though is like driving through L.A. though, and you got to be careful because there's all these freeway roads that start to separate, and the best time to usually go to Oklahoma City is early morning. Don't go in a daytime where it's busy because then you end up going on the wrong road. You know, but yeah, but you know I enjoyed road tripping. But you know I'm very fortunate. I got to do road tripping. I'm fortunate I've been to 17 different states.
Yeah, Clay, depending on what side of Colorado you're driving through.
Yeah,
It's like 3/4 of it is desert, and then you hit the mountains. And then everything is windy up and down. Oh, that on a Greyhound bus was not fun. I do not
yeah,
recommend that to anyone.
yeah, yeah. I've only been to the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. Been there, flown there. I've been to Kansas, but I didn't drive there. I just flew over there. But I didn't fly to Kansas. I flew to Missouri. It was Kansas City, Missouri. I was like in Chiefs territory, and my little brother
Yes.
picked me up, and he's a Chiefs fan. He would drive from Fort Riley, Kansas, because he was stationed there back in the day, and he picked me up from there. I was there to help him and his family move into a new home on the military
Wow.
base at Fort Riley. Yeah, yeah, and it was a good, interesting, you know, to go to Kansas.
I liked Kansas. My not grandfather, godfather lived in Overland Park, Kansas, right outside of Kansas City on the Kansas side.
Yeah,
So I used to go to Kansas for my summers as a kid, which was hilarious. But yeah, so that's why I'm also a Chiefs fan. I was talking about that the other night with
yeah,
Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Steve Young. They all went to Kansas City, and I
yeah,
loved it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Like I said, my brother's a Chiefs fan. My dad's a Steelers fan. Originally, my dad was going to try to turn me into a Steelers fan. It didn't work because I had uncles that were Raider fans. Yeah, but yeah.
All right, I'm gonna last chance it for anyone to come up. Hit the link. It's Sunday night. You can do it. Oh, so I do want to share one thing. I looked at my analytics and I was impressed. My main audience is 45 to 54, so we're Gen X strong over here. Um, and the gender as identified in YouTube of my audience, drum roll, please, is 52% women and the rest men. So you do the math. So women rule over here. Thanks for all the ladies and support. It's not easy out there sometimes. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. You get to see what
Yeah.
your channel is doing. Um, I'm I'm with my target peeps, so that's kind of cool, you know. Um, I wouldn't mind taking that to like the 35-year-olds. I think 35 to 45. You guys could hang out here too. I'm not ageist. Uh, but yeah, it's interesting with all the analytics YouTube gives you, and I'm a data nerd, so
Yeah.
yeah, Spike, go see what you have. Yeah, so what are you up to for the holiday tomorrow, Rudy?
Holiday. Well, this is the new month, and my nephew he'll be he'll be turning 24 on the 26th. And I thought the Renaissance was on September. It's actually in October, so a little bit before Halloween. But yeah, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I'd like to go to. The weather's been cooling down, but it's starting to get hot again. I wouldn't mind going to the river or go to the. Okay, I'll hold the fort down. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going like to the river or coast again. I did go to a water park, and here's the thing: I had fun, but then later on I had migraine headaches, and I take medication for it. And yeah, it's not easy having migraines. I know that they say celebrities work with medication for migraines, but like I said, mine are different. They're not the same. But you got to do what you can do. But yeah, I know people in certain sectors of Mikey Moves. You should dress up as Mikey Moves for Halloween. Oh, that would be pretty messed up. It'd probably scare a lot of kids off, you know. But if I was dressed up as Mikey Moves, I'd step on my Mikey Move rubber tits. That's what would happen. I'd have to get some really long, like socks. They're like 3 feet long, and fill them up with stuff on them, and just like attach them to my shoulder or something. Dress up like Mike. Something. Oh, I've been to the Grand Canyon before too. Conspiracy. I was in doing it for a field trip when I was like about 25 years old. I hiked the Grand Canyon, going on a 7 mile hike, going down, and 7 miles up. 7 miles up is much tougher than going down, and the air is like very thin, like Mile High in Denver. Very thin air, and you got to watch out for snakes and even the mules that the rangers, because those things can bump you down. It's like you got to get to the rock walls, but at the same time, not get too close because of snakes. It's crazy. But I enjoyed hiking. It was a long hike, but I don't think I could do that hike in my current condition. Not because of my age, because my teacher Bob Hall was pretty old himself, but he was in good shape. It was just it's my headaches that would be the problem. Yeah, 47 dudes and 53% hotties. Yeah, reason why there's more ladies is because there's more women on this planet than there are men. So, you know, some guys would say, well, that means every man should have more than one woman. But that's where the polygamous ideology probably came from. because of the fact that the women outnumber men on this planet. But
Okay, rude dog, I'm back. But
all right,
you just said something. I think it has been one of the best things I've heard on YouTube in a long time,
yeah.
and it has inspired me to maybe do a pre-Halloween panel, and we all dress up as some kind of iteration as Mike Cerrone.
Oh no,
Does that sound fun? Or we just have a panel where we dress up as other YouTubers.
that'd be pretty funny. If I dress up as Ham Banana, I'd have to
Oh
plug
god.
my nose and go high pitch. I know someone who could do Ham Banana. That's Prime. Prime sounds dead on like Ham Banana. I saw him like on ACs. He imitated Ham Banana. It was like, yeah, he did a good job. But yeah,
Oh my gosh.
or
Oh.
I could dress up like Ham Banana, but say, hey yo, But then again, I just
Ayo,
make
back
myself
to the
lighter.
show.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Um,
He said he's brown, and I'm like, dude, you're lighter than me. You're not brown. you know.
yeah,
I
maybe
know.
if we all just dress in a costume,
Yeah,
um, that would be fun.
yeah. Oh yeah, I've dressed up before. Well, last year I dressed up in. Well, it was in Alaska. I just had my Deadpool mask on. I did that. And the year before that was, I think it was a vampire. I like to sometimes dress up as a vampire. Then I dressed up as a DC villain, Lobo. But then my brother said, called me Gene Simmons.
Uh,
I look like Gene Simmons in the villain Lobo. That's a DC character. There was a villain as Superman. He is, and one thing about Lobo was he's kind of a womanizer. He would hit up on women though, but but he was a bounty hunter. Or let's see, or I could dress up like Silence Boy. I have to be on my kneecaps or something, and then put a hat on, put glasses on, or something. I don't know. But yeah.
I'm
Oh my.
missing some good stuff in the chat over here. Clay, Debos needs some YouTube assistance. Sorry I can't help you, Debos. I'm a baby and I'm afraid to play any music because I don't want to, yeah.
Oh, the copyright. Yeah, you have to be careful. AC knows a lot about that stuff. You know, he knows which songs that are copyright and which ones are not. Just like that Sewage Dave, he was playing all kinds of music, then he wonders why his channel got struck down. But you have to be careful these days.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would want to go hang over there.
Yeah, he got really bad. Before, he was kind of like really unknown. We didn't know he was a racist. We just knew. He was just a weird hillbilly redneck that had no.
Well, it was honestly, I think it was a spectacle for some.
Yeah.
Right? We don't see,
Yeah.
especially people who live in the city,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to,
Yeah.
be mean or anything, but you hear jokes, you don't think that shit is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you see it and you're like, wow,
Yeah.
okay. It's not a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing wasn't a joke, and it was. I remember. I don't know who it was, but it was about the broken system. They said, "Hey, wasn't it true that you gave a dude oral for meth?"
Mhm.
And then he just left, and then they asked him that question. Then he said this. He says this. I'm gonna use his voice. If it wasn't on video, then it never happened. And I was like, dude, that's a confession. So it did happen. And
Yeah.
the dude has no shame in his game. He does not care what
No.
stuff he does.
And he won't Directly answer any questions.
Yeah. Oh, and Julia, yeah. Yeah, Julia, I think she's just, I guess Ham Banana is just a substitute for JoJo, That's what she's going to do. And that's kind of sad, though, because Ham Banana, he's a sexist. He wasn't really that bad at first, I met him,
No.
and then he became one. And he gets all like that he's gotten that way towards, like, he got on that Dutchie. That's when it really started to happen. And he started he talked bad about Lauren De Laguna, who used to go on his channel. He said the only way Lauren De Laguna is going to be here if she shows her De Lagunas and all that. I'm like, he's such a pig.
Yeah. Morning,
It,
Paul. Hope you're feeling better.
yeah. Hey, Paul. And the thing is,
Tyler, if you're going live, let me know. I'll drop your link. We need to see the strawberry tart debut.
yeah, yeah. And the thing he says he has a girlfriend. His baby mama is his girlfriend. I'm like, dude, I'm thinking that she's not his current girlfriend anymore. Thinking he has no girlfriend.
Does he not think that she might see what he does on YouTube all day and be disappointed that that's what he does
Yeah,
with his money and time instead of working
yeah,
to support a child? And again, I don't
yeah,
know. Maybe he is able to financially support the child, and this is extra money. That's what I'm hoping from a parent's perspective because I am a
yeah,
mother. I cannot think of taking anything away from my child so that I have something. That's not what happens when you bring a kid into the world.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. With Ham Banana, I know, like Brian was standing up for him. I haven't heard him. He said he does DoorDash, and DoorDash really was more productive during the COVID situation, the pandemic, because it was booming. But when the pandemic was dying out, then the DoorDash just wasn't doing too well because people were like going out of their homes and getting their stuff. Before that, they were too scared. And you can't pay rent with just DoorDash. You got to do more jobs. I've seen people that they have to do a bunch of minimum wage jobs, like 3 or 4 of them, and I respect people for doing that. I don't disrespect people for that at all. There's nothing wrong with that. You got to do what you got to do to survive. That's what it's about. But and yeah, I just don't see it. His behavior, it's so easy to see through it. I mean, he'd have to have a female with a extreme low self esteem, and I don't know. I just don't see him having a girlfriend. I really don't. I think he did have one. I'm not going to doubt that he doesn't have a kid because he showed the receipts, but that doesn't mean he has a girlfriend, though. Because there are people that have baby mamas and they don't, and they're not really with them.
mhm.
And the way he talks, there's no way. You know, I think his behavior started
Yeah,
to get worse and worse.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, if there is another female in his life and they see
Yeah,
what he's doing,
yeah,
they can't be impressed.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there are some females that are really low. I've seen it before. I mean, we there was a neighbor's ex boyfriend. Well, he had a girlfriend, and she was so submissive, though. So submissive, and just did anything the guy said. And there are women that are there are some very few that are very submissive to men. I don't even like that. I don't like to see a woman so submissive that the man is like her slave master.
Yeah, and that's what this guy in the other chat I was in was trying to say to me. He's like, "Oh, you need to find yourself a man because you need to go cook him dinner and do this." And again, he was probably trying to be, funny.
Yeah,
But for me, I don't think that that's funny
yeah.
because yeah, I'm gonna be that person for a minute and say women have not had rights for a very long time, and
Yeah.
also you're fucking with someone like
Yeah.
me who was born in Iran, who would get murdered for showing her hair, and here I am in America with the privilege to use my voice without getting killed, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna let subjugative motherfuckers, sorry boys out
Yeah.
there, let let
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let them talk to me like that.
Yeah. And I've
So,
seen like there was a she's a I guess former born actress Mia Khalifa who was born in Lebanon, and the only thing I don't like what she says is the hypocritical part where I said, well, she talks bad about people, and then like talk bad about the actress that played as Wonder Woman. She's Jewish and was
mhm,
trying to be like anti-Semitic. I'm like, when you go against the become anti-Semitic, you have nobody to protect you. The Your own people want to throw stones at you because you're an infidel to them because they consider her a prostitute, and that prostitutes in a lot of the Arab countries would be stoned to death, especially in Lebanon. You know, and a lot of people that left Lebanon, they wanted a better life, and I'm like, you're making enemies out of everybody. You know, it's just it's just not cool what she's doing. I mean, if she wants to do her thing with the adult entertainment, but don't be criticizing people, telling this and that.
mhm.
If she wants to do it, that's her business. I don't make a judgment call in the industry because they could do whatever they want. People. But here's the one thing: you get in the industry, it's going to be hard in later on. You know, it'll be hard for a woman to marry, even for men too. They get in the industry because they don't know how to really socialize with a woman. All they know is they know how to perform. That's all they do. They have no perform. They have no skills. No interactive skills. That's the problem when you get into business. I've seen biography on it after porn. And it messes them up. But for Leah, she wasn't in the industry too long, but the fact that she's been on the whatever podcast. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard
Lauren,
of it, but I don't
Lauren
go into
Delaguna
it.
was on there too before. A
Yeah.
lot of times they have former porn actresses or OnlyFans models, and the OnlyFans models are no different because what do guys do when the OnlyFans model says to them, "Would you ever date an OnlyFans model?" What do they say? Nope. Why?
Mm-mm.
Because they know it's like it's not good. It's not good because your family don't want to know that you're with a, you know, it's just like they're already criticized. They're going for
Yeah.
the quick and easy money, and then one guy says, "Well, what do you bring to the table?" Like when it comes to do you build up the economy, and does OnlyFans do it? Not really, but you build up the money. But then when you're not doing well on OnlyFans, what do you do after that? Made that quick big money, but that money goes away quick. That's what some people. There's always consequences to every job or career we take in, and then it sometimes becomes a bad decision in the long run.
Yep. That's why I will never go into politics. The chat is talking about food now, and I'm getting hungry because everyone knows me. I need to go have
Yeah.
my second dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I
I
I don't know. Uh, I don't know what happened. But I would imagine that Flaky is not crying, and it would take a lot to make Flaky cry.
Yeah. No, she's
Oh,
pretty tough.
uh, um, Spike has dated only fan models. Would you consider it a model more, Spike, or a wannabe influencer? I don't know. I think only fans are wannabe influencers and they could just pay people, they could have people pay them for content. That's what's
Yeah.
enticing about it.
Yeah. They try to get into the YouTube business too. And then when they get in YouTube, it actually hurts their career more But then it, like when it comes to dating and everything, says, "Oh yeah, I saw you on YouTube." No, I think I'll pass. And people, and a lot of these OnlyFans models are always as hot as they said they'd be, because the women, they could be like not so attractive, and they do OnlyFans, and they actually make good money anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy part. I mean, they're not these OnlyFans that look like a young Halle Berry or a Kate Upton or a young Selma Hayek, or they don't look anything like that. But they still make the money.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
and
do
plus,
feel bad
yeah,
for those teachers that have to do OnlyFans because they can't get a living
yeah,
wage. That's
I,
sad.
I can sympathize in some way with that, because there are teachers that do that, but then when you do the OnlyFans, it messes you up though in the long run. And I know
Mm-hmm.
some people I've known even when I was in high school where girls couldn't afford like going to college, so they did stripping.
Yeah.
They do stripping so they can get some college money because they can't afford, they can't afford any loans or anything. They don't have scholarships, so they do that so they can get those loans or pay their way in and do it that way. But yeah, yeah, be surprised. And now the OnlyFans thing is like a replacement for the stripping community, but it just takes it to the next level higher because someone can be a stripper and you wouldn't know it. If you're in a small town area and do
Yeah,
stripping.
it's more, I think it adds, which is weird because it's
Yeah,
the internet, but it adds a sense of privacy.
yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah. And one thing about the internet is nothing's private. You can
Oh,
have some, yeah.
this is what I wanted to ask because I swear to God, honest to God, truth or whatever, I've never been on OnlyFans. So if you pay someone, is it like a what is that? Snapchat and then the picture disappears? Someone tell me how OnlyFans works. I've never
Well,
like does
I've
it
only heard of.
disappear or do they buy it and then you have it forever, the picture? I know
Well,
feet are
people.
really big on OnlyFans.
I don't know, but they usually it's mostly before it was kind of pornographic, and then they decided to stop doing the pornographic and just nudes, and they do videos and then pictures, and then people can see it. They would buy the subscription. That's what they do is they buy the subscription. They're invited to
Oh,
it,
you have to buy a
and then people
subscription like
screenshot. Yeah, I've never
oh,
bought into it, but I investigated a little bit, but I didn't. I'd never paid for it. I was like, no, that's
yeah, I have no clue.
that's what
Um,
they do. But it's going to get played out, and then eventually people like, yeah, yeah, only fans. Some people joked about it, called it not only fans, but only fools. But
mhm.
I mean, it's basically the quickest version of Playboy, but except for Playboy was very strict about who does nudes and who doesn't. They don't just go with anybody. They go with certain people. And OnlyFans doesn't discriminate. They'll let anyone in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder what they could get away with.
Yeah, Spike's an OnlyFans account.
Yeah, I don't have one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're everywhere. Even YouTubers. You sure, Bree? Now I only looked into it though because I investigated some Instagrammers though that are OnlyFans. Like there was one woman that was married and she has kids and she has OnlyFans and her old man doesn't mind it. In fact, he's a part of it, kind of in a weird way. It's kind of messed up though, but yeah, that's
Uh,
where I found out all these Instagrammers. A lot of them, not every one of them, but if you look at some that show pictures of themselves, look in their account and you find out, yeah, then it says, and you click the link tree, and then it links to OnlyFans. I'm like, oh, they do OnlyFans. See, you know.
um, Spike, Tyler's asking you to drop a link for something.
She wants my OnlyFans.
Oh, well, drop the link.
Bow, chicka, bow, now.
Oh, you gotta do it. I agree. Give the woman what she wants, Spike.
Yeah.
you
Forget Playgirl, do OnlyFans,
you
Spike.
my friend, you open that door yourself. No one did it but you, Spike.
I totally opened it and I'm peeking through it. And you can peek through it too. No,
Tyler.
OnlyFans, just to explain a little bit. So when OnlyFans first came out, it wasn't really about the chick doing lap dances on the wooden chair or whatever. It was open for kind of any type of creator. This is the very innocent version of it, but for anybody to do anything, pardon me, for a donation. So even music artists were going on OnlyFans to like pay $9.99 and you can get my songs every month or whatever it was. So it's definitely become more of the cutie that will show the booty kind of website in the last couple of years. But at the very beginning, it was much more innocent. And I did create an OnlyFans account because I was going to do challenges like either like mild physical stunts or I was doing a lot of spicy challenges for free on YouTube back then and Instagram.
Like spicy as in eating hot peppers,
Yeah,
Spike?
like we'll pay $40 to eat 10 Colombian chili.
Ghost peppers?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
I wanna clarify when you say spicy, you weren't doing, like, spicy shit, like, ooh.
No, I mean,
Like, looking at the back of your elbow, what is it, touching the elbow to your butt and saying, "Ay, mama," what is it? "Ay, mommy."
no, but what's
Okay.
funny is that in that first year, that's like within months, like Rudy's right, like within months, it just became all that. So I never really played around on that website much. I never like paid anybody. I never got a membership, but I would get a lot of like suggested friends that were definitely like people who were mopping the floor naked or whatever. Just a lot of ladies. Yeah, a lot of ladies shaking the butt.
Tyler, I'm confused. Do you want Spike's OnlyFans or Rude Dog's
I don't
OnlyFans?
have OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I don't know. We have some good OnlyFans investigators out there that.
Yeah, I can be an investigator. Don't mean I have an account. I just hit their link tree.
We know you have a tomatoes OnlyFans account, Rudy. Come on.
Would that be a TF? That'd be called
I got no hair on my butt, Flaky. Come on. I mean, I've showed myself enough on YouTube where I'm very much not a hairy person.
Oh, I'm Armenian and Persian, so you could use your imagination there.
I dated an Armenian once.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen I knew someone that was from Armenia. She was Armenian. She was blonde hair, brown eyed, and you know, white, but said she was Armenian.
Yeah.
Usually Armenians, a lot of them, not always, but they look kind of like the Kim Kardashian like styles because
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I dated an Armenian and I was not allowed to meet her family because I wasn't Armenian. It
Oh,
was
really?
absolutely, it was very strict. Like, she was
They were
saying,
racist. They were racist. You could just say they were racist. I'm sorry, Spike. Like
no,
my
the
parents,
Armenians are very, yeah.
yeah, that's where I was very lucky because my parents were never like, oh, you could only date Armenians or Persians, or you must marry an Armenian guy. My mom was happy that I didn't marry an Armenian or a Persian. Yeah, so I was always, I don't want to say supported in who I dated because I'm sure I brought people whom my parents didn't like.
yeah.
Yeah, they never said anything about the appearance of anyone I showed up with. And I've dated like half black guys too.
Mm,
Yeah, my parents they didn't care,
yeah.
but
Well,
they
that's
were
good.
That's,
glad. My mom was glad I didn't marry an Armenian or Persian.
It's very rare that they wouldn't care at all. In the
Mhm.
valley, at least out here, as you know.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
racism's in my family too, because like my dad's mom didn't like my mom. My dad dating my mom because she was white, and my grandmother wanted my dad to be with a Mexican woman, not a white woman, and everything. So it goes both ways. But then my mom grew on my grandmother. It wasn't she
Yeah.
hated white people. She just think that browns should be with browns and whites should be with whites. And then I
So
found
I
out,
guess
yeah,
no, I was gonna say let me just take a step back. I don't want to just blanket call racist. Some people will see it as ethnocentrism, right?
oh yeah, that's interesting.
Ethnocentrism, where they're like, oh, we just all they know is their people, so that's all they want. They don't think about it being racist, is what I'm trying to say. And others perceive that as racism because showing up with someone who is not the same ethnicity as you,
Yeah,
love, like, again, I'm that cheesy person, like, love has no borders for me or
yeah,
colors or whatever. So,
yeah. Well, racism isn't always about hatred. Some people look at it as hatred. Like there are some people like my grandmother. She was a racist. She didn't like my she didn't hate my mom. She just didn't want my mom to be with my dad. And but my mom eventually grew on her, and I found out like my mom's mom didn't believe whites and blacks should mix, but had no problem with my dad. They loved my dad. My grandfather thought Mexicans were lazy people. My mom's dad, and he found out they're
mm,
not. Then he got into Mexican culture. He loved Mexican music and all that. It's crazy. And then he loved my dad like another son of his because he had three sons, but only one. Because two of his sons had passed. But my grandfather, before he passed, he loved my dad, and sometimes he
mm,
loved my dad so much that my uncle, who was my dad's best friend and brother-in-law, got jealous of that. It's crazy. But yeah,
yeah.
racism is in our like it's like not hatred, it's just ignorance, you know. And it's like they're not going to say a racist isn't going to say, oh yeah, no something something. They'll be like say hey hello. They're not going to talk bad necessarily. Just they have beliefs like browns should stay with browns and whites should be with whites, and that's a racism thing. It is racist.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean they're bad people, but
Yeah.
now like
And
Jewish Dave, that he's a hatred racist type.
yeah. In my family, everyone, like from my mom's side, Armenian side, my cousins, everything, and including my brother, everyone has married an Armenian except for me, and my cousin who married a Mexican. Uh, Funny story is me and my cousin hung out growing up in high school together. So we were always kind of the black sheeps of our family. But yeah, we are the only two that did not marry within our ethnic, you know,
Yeah,
background.
yeah. Not with me, I'm too much of a mutt to be within because I'm, Mexican, it's within. Irish, it's within. Scottish, it's within. English people, it's within. That's how much of a mutt I am.
Hmm.
Spanish would still be a mutt too. Native American, still, still within. So yeah, I am a mutt.
Yeah, I am. Most of us are.
Yeah.
Um,
The racist thing, it's interesting. I went to Lucy's. Have you ever heard of Lucy's? It's a
mm,
restaurant out here.
no.
In my foodie days, which is basically every day still, but I went with my camera because I was going to go try their falafel or whatever it was. It's one of their, I think it was a falafel. I was on a falafel check and was talking to the owner of the restaurant. And in the nicest way possible, she was basically explaining her Armenian racism.
Oh, wow.
She was just talking about how her family came to LA and they helped build a
Mhm.
church and how strict they were about really just being a very exclusive group of people. And to me, I stopped recording because I realized she's explaining racism in the nicest possible way.
Yes.
Like not
Yes.
hateful, but just being very.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of the Armenians I dealt with growing up, Spike. And
I
of
believe
course,
it.
I mean, I again don't want to use the stereotypical attributes or characteristics, but I don't look Armenian. I have blonde hair, I have green eyes. Um, the features on my face aren't very pronounced, if you get what I'm saying. I'm trying to put it kindly. But I do have big lips, but whatever. Um, and I, in high school, some people are gonna probably fall over in their chair right now, was a cheerleader.
Yeah.
And so it was before class started. I was in the bathroom and I come out of the stall and there are two Armenian girls sitting there, painting their eyebrows or whatever they were doing. And then they start saying in Armenian, "Oh, look at this girl over here. She thinks she's the bee's knees," and just started going, like, talking shit about me in Armenian.
Yeah.
I walked over to the stall, the sink, washed my hands, pretended like totally like pretended like I was gonna look in the mirror, and I turned around and went off on them in Armenian and was like, the only person that looks stupid is you. Don't ever judge a book by its fucking cover. Um, I'm glad that someone like me could put you in your place. Like in Armenian, we have
Yeah.
idioms that we say and share.
Yeah.
And these two people looked at me and they were so taken aback. And I totally did like the hair flip. I'm not shitting you. And walked away because they thought they were the hot shit and
Yeah.
they could go around talking shit about other people,
Yeah.
and no one would know.
Yeah.
But that's how all the Armenians were, Spike. And my mom would always tell me, don't tell people you're Armenian.
Yeah.
Especially don't tell people you could speak Armenian because then you know what the fuck's going on around you and keep it to yourself.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I grew up. I mean, we're basically from the same town, but I grew up
Yeah.
a little bit more west
hmm
from where you
All
were.
my
But
all my family lives in Glendale, if that makes sense to you.
no, I remember when you first told me that. My mom, when I was a kid, used to bring shawarmas home. Flaky's talking about shawarma from Glendale because she worked in the TV business out in that area.
hmm
She'd bring these shawarmas to a kid. I'm like, what the heck is this weird taco? Like, what is this? And they just had the most unique
Delicious.
flavor.
Yeah.
The
So
best
good.
shawarmas from Glendale, for sure.
hmm
In LA, at least.
hmm So yeah, Armenians were, I don't know if you want to call it bigots or racists against me too, and I'm Armenian, but that's because I don't look Armenian. So there you go. You also have to look like them, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. From Fresno, there's been the Armenian communities that've been speaking up a little bit, but it didn't really
Yeah,
work
that
on the news. Yeah. But they were
there's
speaking on the news because of they were talking about the history of Armenian people and
yes,
everything.
there's a lot of Armenians in Fresno too.
Yeah.
My brother's wife is Armenian. When I say Armenian, like when it was still a part of Russia. So she is hardcore Armenian, and all her family moved to Fresno because they're farmers and shit.
Yeah. For like in my little area of Hanford, the population is usually Portuguese, Dutch, and Mexican mostly. That's the stronger population of communities. Mostly, a lot of the Portuguese families, like the Borbas, the uh, Fagundeses, all them, they're originally from LA area. they came to the Central Valley to work because the cost of living there was too high. So they'd come to like like the Kings County, Fresno areas, just to so they can do their farm businesses, to make a better living. And it was kind of crazy because it was a college teacher that was telling me this, and I was like, wow, you know. And I knew like the Fagundeses, the Borbas, and even the Warmadams. They were Dutch, but they were all farmers. They were farm businesses people. It was like, wow, I just learned something.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's how it is in like my little town of Hanford. But that's how it is. There's some people they mistake it for Mexicans. We have some El Salvadorian people too. They get mistaken for Mexicans.
What's the biggest city near you, Rudy?
The biggest city near me, let's see, Hanford. We're in Kings County area. Hanford's the biggest Kings County town, but anything that's close to us, Fresno County would be Fresno. Would be big.
Oh, Fresno. Oh, so you're like
I tell you, it's
more
bigger than us
inland.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're about. I'm about 38 to 45 miles south from Fresno. It's
Wow.
not too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We're all farm territory. It's all in this. We're below sea level. So when you
Do you
come down
get
here, yeah,
do you get snow at all?
that's rare. The last time it
Oh,
snowed
okay.
was in the late '80s. I was just a little
Hmm.
boy. Although it did snow in Fresno, I think it was, I don't know, maybe early 2000. That was about it. But it was rare. But we do get hail though. Hail's
Oh,
worse
yeah.
than snow. I mean, when I
Yeah.
went to Alaska, the snow is nice and soft. It's so soft that you throw it at someone, it will not hurt you. I mean, it's like soft, soft.
So I take it you don't head into the mountains to ski.
No, I don't. I've been to the mountains. I went when I was a kid. We did. There is the Sierra area in the
Sierra
Central.
Nevadas, yeah.
Well, there and there's also somewhere else
Peace
like
out.
Lake Tahoe. Oh, yeah.
What did you say, Spike?
You
Oh,
said
peace
peace
out.
out.
Oh yeah. I'm about ready to wrap too. I'm exhausted, as you could tell with
Yeah,
my
we do.
voice.
We do have snow, just not in Hanford, just outside of Kings County, like the Fresno, Tulare areas. They get snow there. I know there's Lake Tahoe, which is like in between California. It covers both California and Nevada.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I said, if you come to the Central Valley, you're going below sea level. You know,
Hmm. Well,
I mean, if
which
you
is
think
great
about it,
for the farmers.
yeah, land is better. Most of
Hmm.
the agriculture is in the Central Valley. And if you think about it, if you look at California, at
Yeah.
one time this whole area used to be filled in ocean water.
Hmm.
Like if you are like near the canal areas or something, you'll find some really old sea life shells that are like it could be thousands of years old. They fall apart. They don't even if you find it, it just crumbles really easy.
Hmm.
But yeah,
All right, Rudy. I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you for coming
oh, it's
up
no problem.
and keeping me company. All right. Do you wanna plug anything? Your channel? Do you have a
Oh, I don't
Discord?
have a channel. I
You know,
go on. I do go on Cheesehead's channel sometimes on
plug
Saturdays or even Sundays.
plug cheese then. Don't you have a Discord?
I have a Discord, but it's hard for people to get into. It's
Mm,
basically Root Dog 1979.
there you go.
But
Go
if you
find
have a
Rudy on
trouble,
Discord.
yeah, if people have trouble, I'll give me theirs, and then it's usually better that way. People have tried to add me sometimes. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. It's Discord's a little tricky sometimes.
Yeah, I don't go in there often. Oh, there's a premiere right now. YouTube Criers and Liars. Let me get
Ooh,
that link.
good one.
It is a ladybug feud that went down. I think I need to go back and listen to that. Like I said, there were um, a lot of things happening on YouTube tonight.
Yeah.
So that I know was one of them, which I was wondering if anyone wanted to come up and talk about, but that's okay. Um, who else? Hold on, let me put this in the chat before I forget. So they're live. Go support them. Check them out. Jeff, Gen X Jeff, Outliers in Exile is live too. I might pop over there. I think AC might still be live. Flow State, if anyone's curious to venture out a little bit. Flow State is live. And that's all I can see right now. So everyone have a good night. Head over to YouTube's. We'll see ya. Till next time. Bye, everyone.
Good night, everyone.